Mailbox print and business center developers. Over 500 stores open since 2004.
Let's go ahead and get started. I appreciate you all taking the time to join me. So it's either good afternoon or good evening to you. We're going to spend a little time just really talking about the concept and then what we do as a company to support this concept. Because the goal really is to find out, is this right for you? And give you some ideas on it, trying to decide whether that is a yes or a no for you. Because truly only you can answer that question. And my job is to make sure, I give you kind of those ideas to ponder, to decide if this is it and if this is where you want to go. And then also obviously explain the concept, where it is, the industry in a real general sense in regards to post and ship as well as print, because we have those three different categories within our concept, so that you can decide, okay, this is something that I want to do as I move into 2022. So first of all, I always like to kind of start with, yes.
May I interrupt for just a moment? May we record this, please?
You can, but we are as well. And so
Okay.
anyone that wants this recording can just email me, and then by Monday, I'm able to send it out to whoever wants it.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Thank you.
You're welcome. So it really comes down to, at the very beginning, is the mail and print concept the right concept to open now? COVID's still going on. It's been going on forever, it seems, the last year and a half, 2 years. Is this the right concept to open? And the answer is, based upon you, the concept absolutely is great to open right now. And let me explain why that is. One, this is one of the industries during COVID or pandemics, turmoil in the United States, that stays open. In fact, has grown and has increased and has become beyond the whole concept of essential business based upon the government. It's become essential business based upon the United States individual. And why is that? Well, that's because still the industry out there in the world is still saying that 2 out of 5 employees, at least over the first quarter of next year, and if not longer, are going to be still working remotely. That equates to 4.3 million people are still going to be working from home. 56% of employees will be allowed in the United States to, at some level, to work remotely. So, why does that matter? Well, it matters because those folks need a copy room, they need a business center, they need a place to ship. That's where you come in. Our public very much would much rather go to a individually owned, locally owned, well-run business than a large corporation. There's all sorts of surveys that show that. As long as you are running a tight, clean, bright, customer service-driven store, they're going to come to you. They don't have that corporate office to go to anymore. And as you hear, as you read, the remote work is going to continue. There's really no time in the near future that's going to end. Now, please don't equate that to saying, well, once it ends, that means my business is going to go down. That isn't what I'm saying at all. It was very strong before COVID and the after effects. I'm just letting you know that our owners, feedback they've been giving me this last year, they have had their best year and best months in the history of their store. And I'm talking to some clients that have been open for 13 to 15 years. So that really plays a huge role. Now you go to, okay, well, that's great. So what does that mean really financially for me? Well, let's just talk about a couple of the big boys and what they're doing in revenue. So let's just first talk about ship. FedEx sales, just under $80 billion. UPS sells just under $84 billion. Now, if you decide that you want to get into the print aspect of this concept, right now, revenue in the United States for print is $75 billion. The industry is stating that it will continue to be strong due to print versatility and flexibility, which could even be said more based upon the things I discussed earlier. Globally, the print industry, that's 10 times that amount. It's just under $750 billion. So those are some of the reasons on, yeah, it's a great time to get into this industry because it's not going away, it's getting stronger. You know, it is becoming more a fabric of the business individual, the neighborhood, school districts, chamber of commerce, restaurants, or small to medium retailers, attorneys, architects. I mean, just to name a few of all of the type of clients that come and work in and are partners with an owner of the store. So then all of that's fine and dandy, but then the important thing is, so is it right for you? Because all of these numbers are great. You know, they sound marvelous. I can, spew out all sorts of numbers, but if it isn't the right thing for you, none of that matters because some industries are right for some people and others are right for additional. Not every person is right for this concept, but every person is right for dollar, for party, for teen, which are the other concepts we do. So how do you determine if it's right for you? Well, a couple things I always challenge people to think about. Are you outgoing? Are you comfortable managing your own time, being your own boss? Are you comfortable getting out in the community and driving your brand, basically selling yourself and your business? Are you a go-getter? Are you organized? Or do you need to, or have you become very comfortable working that 9 to 5 where someone else controls your time, you clock in, you clock out, you get the tasks that need to get done, you get a quarter review, hopefully, and a pat on the back maybe, and that's, you kind of get through it and then you go home. Are you proactive? Are you able to think beyond today and start making decisions and putting plans in place to impact 30, 60, 90, 180 days from now? Because what you do today has such a big impact on that. Are you strong-willed? If everyone would not mind, please putting themselves on mute. That'd be wonderful. Are you strong-willed? Meaning, are you able to roll up your sleeves, put your chest out and just go forward strong and do what it takes to get the job done? Are you okay with, obstacles, with challenges? Because absolutely they're going to be there. That's just the way of owning a business. And do you use those to come up with a better plan, to learn, to develop your skills, or do you let it beat you? Are you committed? If you decide to do this, you have to be committed to the process. You have to be committed to driving hard, working hard, doing what it takes, in regards, like I said, getting out with the chamber, doing little 5-minute presentations to architects, lawyers, doctors, schools, business centers, restaurants. Are you comfortable doing that? Do you understand and are you able to be committed to customer service? Could whoever's speaking please put their phone on mute, please? Customer service drives this business very, very strongly. People are willing to drive past, and I'm sure that many of you are as well. I know I am. If you're comfortable going to a location, even if that means you drive by 3 that do exactly the same thing, but the one you go to, they get to know your name, they know what you're going to need, they greet you with a smile when you walk in, Their stores are clean. They have bright lights when you come in. Their windows and window sills are clean. They have seasonal promotions. They're always there to greet you with a welcome to my store, and you give them a great service for a great price. People are going to come to you. I hear constantly when I'm talking to clients and we're discussing different sites that our real estate department is talking to them about, and we talk about competition. I had a conversation with a client in Oklahoma, and we were talking about some competitors she had. One was a UPS store, and one was a mom and pop store, and they were only a couple miles away. And she goes, I'm not worried about that. I walk in, and half the time the people are sitting there at the counter on the phone, don't even acknowledge me. The other one, they're smoking weed half the time, and really could care less whether I'm there, and they're dirty, dingy. So that competition's helping drive them in to her store, which is a bright, clean, great-looking store. We just did it a couple weeks ago. Are you determined? Like I said earlier, when you get knocked down, are you determined to get back up, learn from that, not let it get you down, shake yourself off, and just move forward? If you are, this is great. This is what you need. If you're not, can you develop that? If you don't think you can, boy, this isn't for you. And that's okay. Not everything is for everyone. Do you understand sense of urgency? You can't just sit back. This isn't Field of Dreams. This isn't build them and they will come. This is build them, get out and bring them in. And, that's what it takes. Certainly there are people out there that have opened stores that pretty much, they open, they get there at 8, they're there to 5, they don't do really much to drive their business, and they're going to do okay. But then there's other folks that, spend either them or they have someone who is great when it comes to communication, 2 or 3 hours on the phone a week, 2 or 3 hours out in the field, meeting these other businesses that I've talked about to really drive to get, your name out there and let people know you're there. They'll do 2, 3 times what these other stores are doing. I can tell you right now, over this last year, we have multiple stores that are doing between $35,000 and $50,000 a month. Now, those are the standard package. They do print as well. So, that is where, but that is what they've done. They've done better monthly than they've ever done. And that, again, use the example in 13 years that they've been open. So those are things that I would challenge you all to think about when you're deciding if this is right for you. If it's right for you, this is an absolutely great industry to get in. It's not retail, which is wonderful. You're not having to have your store open 12, 13 hours a day, 6 days a week, and the other day open 10 to 11. Most mailbox and print stores are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6:30 as an example. On Saturday, they may be open 8 to noon, 8 to 2, and they're closed on Sunday. There are some people out there that are open for a few hours on Sunday, but not very many. That gives you the ability to have work-life balance, which is becoming more and more important. And many of us realize that, during COVID, as we were furloughed and we were able to spend time with our spouses, our partners, our children, what have you, that, we'd been missing out in the grind of the everyday work. This kind of really makes it so that you're able to do both, create a legacy, build a foundation for your family, pass something on to your children, and still not miss those ball games, those PTA meetings, the symphony, whatever it is that you want to participate in, movies, walking the dog in the park. You're still able to do that and run your business. The other nice thing, this doesn't have all the expenses of those retail stores. You're not going to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 employees. So your labor is so much better. Also, your stores are going to be right around 1,000 square feet. So you're not going to be spending rent on 2, 3, 4,000 square foot locations. Then you go into the utilities and everything that's there. So just from your expenses alone, that's one of the reasons why that profitability is so good. So again, that's about the concept. That's about you deciding whether you want to do this and if you're comfortable doing it. So once you decide that, now let's say that, okay, you want to dip your toe in the pool and decide it, find out what Mailbox Print and Business Center developers can do for you. So let me tell you what we as an organization do. Mailbox Stores, the concept has been open for 15 years. We are part of an organization that, it includes the other concepts I told you, that have been around 26 years. We have opened a total of 4,600 stores. 600 of those approximately are Mailbox in the last 15 years. The only reason I mention that is just the expertise, the knowledge, and the, I guess, know that we've been able to learn through those years. And the networking we've been able to do, which saves money when it comes to the vendors that we use. So what do? You decide you want to do this, you contact Brent or you contact Sean. Most of you would have gotten the reminder email, and I believe it would have had either Sean McEwen or Brent Thompson's email on there. You would give them a call because I believe it has their number as well. They're going to walk you through and really talk about what we just talked about. Or if you already said, no, we're good to go, you give them a $500 deposit. That goes towards your the overall cost. If for some reason down the road, let's say you needed to get funding and you couldn't, you live in an area that for whatever reason there's absolutely no locations, you're getting that money back. So then what happens? You then get transitioned and turned over to a funding advisor if you need financing. They walk you through the program. They let you know who our network of brokers are. They get you in contact with them, and they help get the documents and the things that you need to submit to them. And they're constantly checking up for you, making sure you're hitting time frames, reminding you. If you don't need any funding, they just get some documents from you and send you on to real estate. So that's what the funding does. We obviously don't do funding ourselves. We have a broker network that we get you in touch with. Then from that point, you would go on to real estate. Unless you're someone who already owns the site, you own a building or whatever, obviously you're going to need to use our real estate department. We have professional site locators, and we have leasing managers, real estate managers, and brokers. We have a network of contacts and brokers throughout the United States. What they do is then when you get turned over to a group of two, you will have a intro call, which is very, very detailed. They're going to ask you what it is you're looking for, what locations you're looking for, how far east, west, north, south from where you are do you want to go? You live there. You're going to know how far are you okay with from driving from home. Is 15 miles away from home it, or you get to 30 miles? You're going to have also many clients come to us. They've already seen 2 or 3 or 4 sites. They want us to research. So they get all of that information. They walk you through, again, the process so that you know exactly what's going to happen. When you go into real estate, you're going to have access to a proprietary software program that we have. Why that's important is you're going to be able to communicate through that with your leasing manager. When you're going to be doing that is we're going to find sites, we're going to upload them. It's going to have demographic, site, aerial, the neighborhoods. It'll have all of that information. You need to go in and review it because at the end of the day, you're the owner. You have to make the decision. We're there to do the negotiations. We're there to give you feedback. We're there to find out. We're there to work with the brokers. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision on, yes, I want this site, or no, I don't. So you're going to have all of the information to make an informed decision. We're going to expect you to go visit that site. We'll set up time so you can go in, you can walk it, you can look at it. We're going to want to have you go there at different times of the day so you can look at traffic. See, is this where I want to be? Because you do that. And we want to get feedback. If it's not, you need to let us know, no, this isn't what I'm looking for, and here's why. So it's really a strong communication. If you can't communicate, this program won't work for you because you have to be very tight with the leasing managers because, again, this is your investment. So as we get sites, we send, as we get ones that you're real interested in, we send a letter of intent. We let the brokers and the landlords know that our client is interested, which starts the process. You and the leasing manager will talk prior to that on, so here's what the asking rent is. What are you comfortable with? What is it that you're looking to do? And then we submit those offers. And then as we get that narrowed down, we do what's called an FLOI, a formal letter of intent. It's really that step, really knocking down, bullet pointing the deal points so that we can start getting a lease together. So then, we go through all that negotiation, you and the leasing manager communicating and going over that FLOI so that we can find out what works, what doesn't. And then it goes to lease, and we go back and forth with the lease. The folks are going to be working very hard on getting you free rent, working on getting, TI, tenant improvement dollars, or working to get the landlord to do additional work in there so you don't have to. Those are all things that we're going to be working on and negotiating to try and get, making sure it's ADA compliant, that the HVAC lighting, is working, that the use area zoning is for a mailbox store. All of that are things that we are working on because we want to get you in the best situation. As you go through that process, everything is good. You sign the lease. You go to operations. Now, I happen to be in charge of operations as well as being in charge of the mailbox concept. Now, I will tell you that you all will be talking to me really from the time you go into finance through the end. Some would consider that good. Some would consider that annoying. It's up to you to decide. But we stay very connected. And what operations does is we are the ones that walk you through checklists, walk you through the program to make sure that the two areas that need to really get done, that the things that you need to do as an owner legally, that you get done, i.e. certificate of occupancies, registering your business, registering your name, getting an EIN, state tax ID, talking to the local city hall to make sure that you get your certificate of occupancy, talking to the fire marshal, setting up that inspection. As well as you're going to get information from my assistant in regards to contacting Federal Express, UPS, DHL, to find out if there's a market need, which quite frankly will be done before you ever sign a lease. To deciding, in this case, if FedEx has a need in that area, that's pretty important to know. We have an association that we work with that we get you connected with that has all sorts of additional services and vendors, i.e. Shred It. They have contacts for that. ATM machines, they have contacts for that. They help set you up with a web page, marketing information. We have all of that. We also, if you decide to go to print, we get you, one of the things that we'll talk about in training here in a little bit is the distributor and the people that does all the supplying of our print actually happens to be just down the road from us here in Las Vegas. He's the one that will actually train you on that. You'll actually go to his shop, his warehouse, when you're here for training, and then he continues the training as your store is being built up. He does Zoom calls every month after that, to talk about marketing, development, how you use the equipment, but more how do you market the equipment, as well as you get information from him all the time. So that's what we do. I'm also the one who manages the team that does the store setup. My team, we hire temporary employees. I have my supervisors that fly over all over the world as we set up different types of stores. You and I walk through what that process is on how they do that. Typically, a store setup starts on a Monday. My guys fly in. They meet you on a Sunday because they're doing another store, so they either fly in late Saturday or Sunday morning. They fly in on a determined and scheduled date. You meet them at the store. They walk the store, make sure there's no surprises. Nothing we need to go to run to Home Depot or Lowe's for, which there shouldn't be because we get pictures and we talk about it all the time. And then on Monday away they go. And assuming there's no bumps in the road or surprises, your store's ready to do a soft open on that Saturday. So it really goes from an open, 4 walls to a completed store by Saturday. So there's that. Prior to that, we do training once a month here in the office. And the only concept that we currently do that for since COVID started is Mailbox, because it's just so important. And we have specific dates. So prime example, the people that we have scheduled for October are here actually next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And, Denise, again, my assistant, will get, as you get to that point, we'll get you all the information. Obviously, you have to fly yourself here. Hotels, we have, the Orleans that gives you breaks on hotel rooms. But, you come here Monday. Monday, Tuesday, it's full from 9 until 4:30 operational training with our trainer, who is actually a store owner, has been one for 15 years, very successful. In fact, he was one of the earlier stores that we opened way back, 13, 14 years ago. And I think he would tell you the great years he's been having the last couple as well. Very, very good trainer, very easy to understand, takes questions. Not is it just operational, but we have the equipment in here in our training room that he walks you through how to use it. Whether it's the binding machine, whether it's the cutter, whether it's the passport camera. You also have on all of our computers that each of you will be sitting in front of, the software program that you will be using in your store is programmed. So you will have all of that training. Prior to that, actually, you will have a 4.5 hour Zoom training with the software company that provides all of that and uploads all of that. They do software training. As they give you that information on those scheduled dates, they also give you a link so that you on your computer can, prior to there and after that, log in and practice and get really familiar with the software program. I mean, everything is set up for you to be comfortable. On Wednesday, if you are a client who is doing the print package, you then, everyone, the first 2 hours of that day is spent here in the office, and we do social media training. Our social media employee has created a training seminar, and he walks you through understanding how to utilize social media to drive your business and not have to pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to a third party to do it for you, and how to manage that. Then usually around 10 or 11, you leave, you drive over to the print office, and he obviously that's his warehouse and everything else. He walks you through the whole program. You see the computer, you see the apps. You'll see how clients are able to go in and use that, because 90% of that is all customer service on their own. You don't do much of that. They do most of that. And then you're going to spend time actually in his warehouse doing things. You're going to do canvas. You're going to see how you do portraits, because in the print aspect of what you can do, what you're able to do, and this is just a few things: blueprints, menus, yard signs, banners, different size canvas, portraits, wrapping paper, business cards, brochures. If you go to the premium package, which actually just got upgraded again yesterday, you're able to do hats, tumblers, mugs, cups, shirts, because it's a sublimation machine that it actually infuses that ink and that image in the material. So that is there. So you get all of that training. And then during the week that we do your store setup, I tell everyone on that Monday, really not a reason for you as an owner to be there, other than maybe stop it around at 3 o'clock just to see how things are going. Because that's really the day all about unloading the truck for fixtures and getting those staged and starting to put that together. So there's really nothing you're going to learn or do that day. Now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we really expect an owner to be there at least 3 hours. The copier company is going to call you. They're going to schedule that delivery during the week we're there. They want you to be there, because not only do they deliver it, they teach you how to use it. technician that comes and teaches you how to do that. If you have the large format printer and everything else, you're going to be on the phone with that gentleman who you've obviously already met during training, and you're going to get that all set up. We now have actually upgraded the computer system that goes with that large format printer. We've increased the screen and increased the speed. We did that yesterday, so that when it comes, it'll already be pre-programmed. You're not going to spend 3 hours with him getting all of those apps and templates uploaded. Those are going to be done when it gets delivered. On Friday, that's the day that you're going to spend, 4 or 5 hours just spending with the build-out supervisor, being in the computer, playing around with things. The other thing that you have to do is you have to go in and look at the pricing of the retail, because it's uploaded the same pricing whether you're in Delaware or you're in Oregon. So you may want to change the prices. You'll know how to change the prices. You'll go in and change them. Obviously, we have to have you do that before we print up all of the pricing labels that go on the hooks on the wall where your retail is demonstrated. My guys are usually there till early afternoon, late morning on Saturday as you open, and then they catch a flight and they go to the next store and meet the client on Sunday. So that really is the process from when you decide you want to do it to when you've opened up your store. Now, let me just throw it, because I threw out a bunch of numbers at the beginning in real general sense. Let me tell you just a couple very specific items in regard to print. And the reason I'm even going to do that is I will tell you that over the last 6 months, I'll just say 6 months because I have those numbers. We have had 90% of all of our new mailbox clients have either done the standard package or the premium package, because they understand the value of print, and knowing that increased amount for print, they recover within the first 6 months of business, and they know what the values are. As I told you earlier, the value package, which again is what we built this concept on, those folks on average, after they get their brand going, it's not going to be month one. You need to get out there and market. They're averaging $20,000, $23,000, $25,000 a month. Some 18. And again, please understand that is an average, because it depends on you so much. You can have the greatest equipment and the prettiest store, but if you're not marketing your store to get people in there, none of that matters. The ones that do print, they're averaging between $30,000 to $50,000 a month. Now, again, you all have to decide, financially at the beginning what you can do. And if that's something, if you can only start with the post and ship and you want to, go into print later, that's also something we can talk about. That's something we're able to help you get. But just as an example, so you understand the profitability, which when I found out just blew me away. So you do 250 business cards. You sell them for $20. They cost you as an owner $1.67. A canvas print, which is, I don't know if you know what it is. It's basically on canvas paper. You have the wood frames behind it. There are different thickness of the frame, vibrant colors. It has different types of borders that kind of waterfall onto the side. There's different sizes. The 18 by 24, we'll use that as an example because that's one that I actually did when I was learning how to do this. You as an owner, it costs you less than $8. And that includes your ink, your paper, your frame, all of it. It costs you less than $8 to do that. Those retail for $69.99. Those are just two small items that just shows you what the profit margin is on print. Many retailers get their POP, their signage. Their corporate office sends them templates. They go to places like you to get those printed. Many architects obviously have to have blueprints. They either will come to you or if they're someone where they're incredibly busy, part of this package is you have a 36-inch portable scanner. You go to them, you run it through there, take it back to your store, and you print it up for them. Many restaurants I could really talk about Vegas here. Many restaurants have gone to paper menus, and they change them every day to every couple of days. We have clients that have set up programs where that is a consistent revenue flow for them. I'm sorry. We have Chamber of Commerce. We have a police union that does things every month, and we have owners that this union goes to them to print up, all of their brochures, all of their manuals, everything. Those are just some things where you have that constant revenue coming in while you're doing the other things to continue to grow it. So that's why I bring up print on just, the opportunities. And then there's things where we've had clients that do other things. Like I said, ATM, shred it. You all would need to get notarized, um, or get your notary because there's great revenue as well. You want to have multiple things to bring people in to drive in business. We have some clients that have actually just started where they're now an Amazon drop off, much like you see at some of these retailers, where someone comes in and they either pick up their Amazon order or they drop it off. Now, does that drive in revenue for that transaction? No. Does it drive people in your store to see everything you do? Absolutely. So it's just an easy thing for you to do, that you have a box that does most of the work, but it's marketing for you. So people come in and they see your print area, your print center as an example, or they see your FedEx sign and your USPS sign in your mailboxes, and they're going, wow, I had no idea. And those are just things that help drive your business. So that is our concept. That is what we do, who we are. So I would really like to open up the phones. Please feel free to ask me whatever you can. If, it's something that's very, singular, I'll give you my email so that you can ask me that and I can respond or call you in the morning. But please take yourselves off of mute. I would love to answer any questions that you have.
So how long does it usually take to break even?
Okay, so depends on you. But I would certainly expect you to do it easily within the first year, if not within the first 6 to 9 months, if not sooner. But again, please, I am not being evasive, but it's just the truth. It depends on you.
Okay.
I mean, if you're one of those people that after 90 days are doing $30,000, $35,000 a month, you broke even now within 6 months.
What
if
was
you're one
the
of those people,
question? I was unable to hear what the question was. Can you repeat what he asked?
how long it takes to break even.
Okay, thank you.
So you figure if you pay $104.9 for the package, well, again, say months 2 and 3, you've done everything you should have done, and all of a sudden you're starting to do $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. Obviously, in 3 months, you're now completely profitable. Your entire investment's been paid for. If you sit back, you don't do anything, that isn't going to be the case.
Okay.
So,
do you have any store in the Los Angeles area where I can visit?
That would be something that you'd need to email myself, Brent, or something for. And once we get you in-house, we absolutely have clients in different areas of the country that don't mind talking to new people, or even have you come in. We do that once someone comes in-house.
I see. So
and obviously we ask them first because we don't want, it's their store because, you're not a franchisee. Okay. But yeah, we have people all over the United States that welcome new owners or people that are interested to come in and talk to them.
Okay. And when I Google it, independent mailbox and shipping company survival rate is very, very low. Is that true? And if it's so, why?
That isn't true. I can tell you that our stores, if you look at survival rate, is better than any other concept. And, if you look at individually owned businesses in the United States, 50% fail. That's just the fact.
Yes.
That is not the case with mailbox stores. And again, and I'm just going to beat this until I don't need to beat the drum anymore. Stores that typically fail, you can figure it out in 5 minutes. The owner didn't do what they needed to do to run their business. They closed their store so they can go to lunch. They want to go on vacation, so they close their store. They run limited hours. They don't go out and meet all the people I talk to and drive their business. They don't update their web page. They don't do YouTube videos. I mean, I'm thinking of all the things. If you have someone where you think that, hey, I'm a business owner, and you're going to get a fancy little chair and sit behind your counter, hey, flip the coin on whether you're going to succeed or not. But if you're going to work, you're going to succeed.
I see. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Any other questions? There has to be more questions. I didn't do that great of a job. There has to be more questions.
Yes.
Yes, I do, actually.
On the, hello?
Yes.
Yes. On the incomes that you've been mentioning, are those gross incomes or net?
Those are top line revenue. If they're doing $35,000, $50,000 top, flow through on that, you figure you're still going to do 60, 70% flow through. Because again, remember, you have low rent, you have low payroll, you have lower utilities. Your flow through is significantly better than it is in retail. Because in retail, you figure you're doing great if you're running 35% payroll. You're not even running 10% payroll in a mailbox store.
Did I hear you mention something about the 1049? Is that the...
So the 1049, so let me tell you about all three packages. So the value package, which is strictly the post and ship, no print. But again, just so you understand what that means, you have all the counters, you have retail, mailboxes, your POS, rental computer, copier. I mean, you have everything that you need to do a post and ship. That's $84.9 before tax. The standard package, which includes, it's all of that, plus your retail goes up to $7,500. You have a large format printer. You get to pick the finishes of the counters and the furniture that's in there, which is wonderful because you're building a brand that isn't anyone else's. You get that mobile scanner. You get an additional rental computer, some of the additional supplies, as well as we pay some subscriptions for you to some of these associations for your first year. That's $104.9. And then our premium package, which is the two above, now add an additional POS, additional set of mailboxes. So now instead of 130 mailboxes, you have 260. You're going to get the upgraded sublimation machine that we had it already, but we upgraded it. You're going to get the upgraded heat press, and that's $134.9. Hopefully I answered your question.
You did. Thank you.
What can we expect
my pleasure.
potentially maintenance fees or, repair costs when the blueprint scanner goes down? How do we handle things like that?
You work with the print company and they take care of it for you. Their service is second to none when it comes to technical support. And they told me that when I first met them, and I was very skeptical. I've absolutely seen it happen. They're accessible 7 days a week. Now, I will tell you, there's been very, very few times they've had to do it because we have had very, very few issues where someone's, printer, scanner has gone down, or the POS has gone down. But you have direct access to those vendors.
Hello, this is Will. Have you opened businesses in Puerto?
Have we done what? I'm sorry.
Have you opened businesses in Puerto Rico?
Okay, I've heard, have we opened businesses in, but fortunately the dog was barking. I couldn't hear the city.
Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Let's see, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Not a mailbox store. I don't think so. I know we've done Panama City. I know we've done Kuwait. I know we've done the Philippines. I know we've been in Canada. I know we're doing one in Jamaica, but those are mainly party and dollar stores. Mailbox stores, I do not believe so.
And do you know of any restrictions on doing that?
Well, some of the restrictions, may be obviously USPS wouldn't apply. It would be a little more challenging potentially to be a authorized FedEx or UPS or DHL location.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I heard you mention about Amazon return. So you don't make any profit on that. But is that
You do
right?
not.
Is that what you said?
That is that is correct.
That-
But you sure make
that's
a lot of
just the code,
profit.
isn't it?
You make, well, yes, but from a business
Okay.
standpoint, courtesy, community service, yes, but there has to be some benefit business-wise. So I don't know if any of you shop at Kohl's, which is a clothing store. They do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So my wife will order something from Amazon. It's not the right size. It's too big. She takes it to Kohl's. She drops it off. They give her a 10, 15% return coupon to come back. And I got to tell you, I think she's used every one. So what it does do, as I mentioned, is it brings clientele into your store that maybe would not have been there in the first place. And they're going to see everything that you offer. And that is helping market your business. Otherwise, these retailers would not be doing it. And they're all over the place.
I see. So when they accept the return, it's going to be only for FedEx unless you have account with UPS, right?
So, yes, most of our stores are strictly FedEx. And the reason for that, UPS and DHL make millions of dollars through their franchisees. They are much more tight to the vest in allowing people to become an authorized location. That being said, I will tell you that we still have clients every week that get UPS. I had 3 this week. Is it easier when you're in a very rural area? Absolutely. But I just had someone in Oklahoma in a city that got all 3 of them last week. So we get you all the information because unfortunately you all are the ones who have to call. They don't go through a third party. They have to talk to the potential owner and the location because the agreement's through you. It's not through us. So we get you all set up with them. Everyone obviously gets FedEx because obviously we would not recommend you getting a location that FedEx doesn't have a market need in that area. And then, like I said, UPS and DHL possibly. And I get it. They make millions of dollars because they get 8 to 10% of gross revenue from all their franchisees. Not an issue though. It's been that way for years. Absolutely not an issue. It does not impact our owners' revenue.
I see. And if you go out there, there are many UPS store every corner, I would say these days. How do you compete with these guys? I mean,
obviously very well based upon the numbers I told you. It's really no difference. How does McDonald's compete against Burger King or Wendy's? How does Chevron compete against Shell? It comes down to one. It comes down to let's go back to kind of the second service, real estate. We're not going to recommend or really even approve, but you are the owner, but most folks listen. We're not going to have you in a location that within a mile there's a competitor. Within 2 miles there's a competitor. I mean, part of what real estate is doing and what you're looking at, you get competitor maps. And then we also will call them, see what they do, look at their websites. But all of that's part of it. We're not going to have you get a site that, you walk out in your driveway and you can see 4 competitors. That doesn't make any sense. Now, if there's a restaurant, sure, but that doesn't make any sense. So that is not something that we would recommend, nor would it something that we would do.
So let's say if I want to open this store with you guys, what I'm afraid of is that even if we find the store, where you don't have much competition, but just in case if they come near to you, then it's going to be a big problem. That's what I was kind of worrying about.
If they come to me or they come to the city?
I mean, if they come to me, let's say I open the store with you, and then they come to me, close enough to compete, that kind of stuff.
Well, but that's any business, right? I mean,
yep.
you can't control the city. But again, if you do all the things we've talked about and you've built a customer base, you've built a brand, let them come. The only reason customers are going to leave you is if your prices are out of whack, if your customer service is not good, if you have a dirty store and employees that don't respect, smile, get upbeat, and you don't offer the services. People are very loyal to places that offer services at a great price with great respect and professionalism. You can't be afraid of competitors coming in. I mean, if that is a concern, which it's your money, it very well could be, then probably owning a business wouldn't be the right thing for you to do because you can't control that. That is an uncontrollable that could or couldn't happen.
Do you think having FedEx service is kind of an advantage against UPS?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because UPS is not because UPS store is not gonna have service for FedEx. So my question is, FedEx?
Well, no, a UPS store is going to have UPS.
Right. So we're going to have a FedEx. So do you think it's any advantage?
It's not an advantage or disadvantage to either one of you. Again, a majority of our stores have just FedEx, and they're producing those numbers.
Okay.
It isn't like someone prefers UPS over FedEx. It's whatever's most convenient.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it is always my pleasure. Anyone else have any questions?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah, please.
The fees for the value, premium, and standard package that you're charging, it doesn't, although we have to pay for our expenses to get there and stay there, is the training included in those packages, prices?
The training, yes. Hotel and flight, no. But the training, absolutely, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. That's critical. That's why as soon as Las Vegas opened up so that we could do it, that's why immediately, back in April, we started doing in-house training again and got away from Zoom training as soon as Las Vegas opened up. Because it's just so important.
Thank you for
Any
your time.
other questions? Oh, it is always, it is my pleasure. I love doing this. So if there's no more questions, give it some thought. Decide if this is something that you're really interested in doing, as you go into this new year. Decide if being a business owner and this concept, being a service-related industry is where you want to go. If it is, please reach out to Sean or Brent. And if you don't have their email, by all means, you can reach out to me and I'll get you in contact with them. And we will get you in the house and get to work for you and do an amazing job for you. And that's why we're here. So again, thank you. I know your time's very valuable. Very busy. We're going into fourth quarter, a lot moving, a lot going on. There's a football game probably going to start here a little bit. So I appreciate those of you who spend time with me instead of jumping on ESPN or the NFL Network. And, thank you so much. Again, any questions, please reach out so that I can answer those and fill any gaps that I may have missed. Have a wonderful evening and a really nice holiday season as it comes up. Thank you all.
You do.
Thank you.